It's time to spotlight Warner Brothers Discovery announcing a restructuring today. And I'm joined now to take a look at the media sector. Stephen Kent, Media Director, Consumer Choice Center. Thank you for being with us. When we see the move today in the stock, which is up 16%, its biggest move in nearly 3 years for this name, we're hearing about disclosing restructuring plans, which might even include some strategic opportunities. What are you hearing and what are your thoughts?
Well, we are about to head back into a period of dynamism in the corporate sector, and particularly for media companies. My main thought looking at this announcement is that this was teased by Zaslav 24 hours after the outcome of the November presidential election and Donald Trump's win. He began speaking on November 7th about the possibility now that WBD would start pursuing some kind of merger or reorganization. This is going to be a new time where I think there's going to be a lot of CEOs who are less afraid to pursue that kind of growth or reinvestment strategy. And we're seeing that with Warner Brothers Discovery, because you're not going to have Lena Khan at the FTC blocking frivolously every merger that is proposed.
That's actually a really big deal, right? So you want to make some big moves in business, but maybe you were holding back. And now if you have, Lena Khan out and a more friendly administration to mergers and acquisitions, and could be a deal in the works. So you think that some of the ideas and opportunities that they're evaluating could create growth, drive growth, bring shareholder value? What could those opportunities be?
Well, we do know what they're going to do is they're going to split off their linear programming and channels from their streaming operations. They're going to have this new operation called Global Linear Networks, and they're going to have streaming and studios. The latter is going to have the likes of HBO Max on it, Cartoon Network, and kind of stuff like that. And then their traditional properties, Turner, CNN, Sports, those will all still remain in linear. But they're dealing with a lot of debt baggage from the previous mergers that happened between Discovery and then Scripps. They're still holding the bag for a lot of that debt. It's constrained the ability of Warner Brothers Discovery to be nimble and move. And then they got hit as well with the failure to get NBA games here this past year. Now, the missed opportunity from the past couple of years of hostility toward mergers is that they had discussed and even floated the idea of doing a merger with Paramount. Paramount has become a real powerhouse in entertainment and storytelling. The Taylor Sheridan cinematic universe, I think, is one of the biggest things going on right now in entertainment. And that's a missed opportunity. I'm not sure what's around the corner or what's next necessarily, but, sky's the limit when companies are actually able to look out for their investors and make decisions in their interests.
Yeah, understood. I mean, what's the competitive landscape like for Warner Brothers Discovery? Are they a real competitor in your opinion? I mean, the stock has come up off the lows. There was a time that people were generally pretty worried about this name when it was trading around $6 or so, but it has staged a pretty sizable comeback, doubling, in fact, from those low levels. Do you view this name as a real winner?
I view it as a winner. It's a piece of legacy media, and it can continue to be competitive. But we are seeing this kind of shuffle happening over at Comcast, and there was all that news just a couple of weeks ago about Comcast spinning off its TV channels, MSNBC and the likes, because there's going to be a lot of shakeups in the media sector as we go through the next 4 years of a new administration in Washington, D.C. So anything's possible.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the other names that you're following so closely. And you said it's very telling that Trump had to be elected president to make some of these moves happen. But maybe you can forecast other moves that can happen. I'm curious to hear what names you've been following most lately and what's on your mind.
Well, with Ferguson, Andrew Ferguson, the FTC commissioner, now coming in to take the spot from Lena Khan, and he's going to be Trump's FTC commissioner. What we're going to have is an FTC that focuses less on, Lena Khan's focus was on the impact of workforce and workers when it came to mergers. That's why we saw the Albertsons and Kroger thing go down in flames here just yesterday, because the FTC has been angled towards way more than just the impact on consumers when it comes to these corporate mergers. So I think that we're going to actually see a lot of consolidation in the hotel sector. There was a lot of talk just a couple of months ago about a major shift with Choice Hotels pursuing a merger, which they ended up canning because they didn't want to run into the buzzsaw of the FTC. And we just saw a lot of movement in the grocery sector as people are trying to keep up with Target and Walmart expanding their offerings.